just a bloke in a bar.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to another episode of the Great Dirty Merger podcast. Before we get into it, don't forget Father's Day sales. We're filming this Wednesday night, but it comes out obviously Thursday. So last night, the Father's Day dropped, and there are little bloke, big bloke, girl dad, daddy's girl, all shirts on the website. If they haven't sold out, make sure to go to bloke.shop. Grab some Father's Day gifts, very limited numbers. But also, next Monday at 6 p.m, Bloke and Budgy Smuggler are collaborating, and Budgies they'll be available at 6 p.m. on Monday. We have 4 different designs: brown, black, yellow, and red. You'll see the photos in the coming days over our socials, and it'll be on the Budgy Smuggler website. Guys, as people know, we do not do this often. So if you want to get your Bloke Budgies, get them on Monday at 6 p.m. They're friggin' sick. I absolutely love them. But I've got the great Tom and Eddy and Tommy. How you going, boys?
Good, mate.
Fantastic.
What's happening?
Not much. What about you boys? What's going on with you boys?
You had a kid, have you?
Yeah. Oh, that's the best. But you know what else is on tonight? Well, okay, so it's coming out, so it'll be last night. But I'm actually keen for the fight tonight, No Limit.
Yeah, punch-ons.
I tell you what, we may have got an inside scoop on someone fighting tonight named Nikita. I don't know who we got the scoop from, but he knows him well.
Knows him well. Might have at one point lived in the same scrotum as Nikita.
But I'm not going to confirm that.
I'm not going to say that, though.
I won't confirm that, nor Denon will I deny it.
No.
Okay.
But I certainly won't confirm it. And
They may or may not have been scrotal housemates at one point in time.
Do they have the same last name?
Maybe.
No, that's too much. We can't go that far. We can't
They
commit
end in
to anything.
Zoo.
Yeah.
Okay.
His name. We don't want to go first.
Z-O-O or?
I don't know the spelling.
That's how you phonetically say it.
Look it up yourself. Nikita is dialed the fuck in, right?
Okay.
He is a young man in the prime of his life who is just fucking dialed in on winning, fighting a guy whose name escapes me. Matty, maybe I would help me.
Jack Brubaker.
Jake Brubaker. Jack, who's a bit of a family man now. And he's fighting that young dog, you know what I mean? That new up-and-comer, the guy who I think's going to have too much fucking alpha about him, if I'm going to be honest with you.
Yep.
Now, you can get $1.14 last check. That's a bit skinny for me. So maybe look for those early knockouts.
I just wanted to let you know.
Oh, it's out tomorrow.
Nice. Yeah, like you're giving people like just
Well, I'm telling you boys.
No, yes.
You boys look for an early knockout.
Yeah, thanks, brother.
Yep.
I tell you what, you've got to be dialed in if you're fucking drinking Cobra's blood.
Cobra's blood. And ate the beating heart of the Cobra as it was still, beating.
Like, that's first of all, that's
the beating
great.
heart of the Cobra while it was still beating is what he did.
Yep. I tell you what, that's good Australian yarn there.
It's some sicko shit. Like, I kind of want to know what it's like. Like, maybe that'll turn around Manly's 2024 season. Maybe we got to eat Cobra hearts.
Well, I'll give you a list. Nick Zoo, only a few weeks ago, drank Cobra blood right after eating its heart. Same as he is now. He has now eaten bull testicles, cow liver, easy, boring, and heart, boiled animal bones, and he's eaten their muscles. Even devoured the eye of a pig. Okay. Although the last one was when I was drunk, he said.
See, so he's eaten basically all organs.
Well, he's like the fucking liver guy, Liver King.
Yeah, but Liver King doesn't eat that shit.
Like me or
well,
like
no. The guy I saw Liver King the other day.
I was going to say thanks for the compliment.
No, Liver King was burying himself on Instagram yesterday. Like sometimes I'm
as in the earth.
He was laying in a grave and he was burying himself, and he's like, every day you spend not like living your primal optimal life, whatever, is like another shovel of dirt on you. And it kind of rattled me a little bit because I'm not living.
You know what you should get?
Primal life.
Implant abs like Liver King.
I think he got implants.
That's what the whole drama was about.
Yeah, they say.
No,
I think he admitted steroids as well.
He admitted it.
I think he admitted steroids.
No, I think he admitted the implants as well.
Jesus, wouldn't you get rid? I mean, they do look fake, but he looks like constantly stressed. His muscle, he's just so red and jacked. Look, I wouldn't rule out ab implants, but I'm actually on my way to getting him in the natural way. So.
Oh, are you?
Yeah, I'm very close.
Very close. Eddie, thoughts?
Well, he's only drinking long blacks now.
I'd made an announcement on the show.
So he's on.
Not yet. From I've got like a week or so.
Oh, so you haven't even committed to it yet?
No, I have. I've got a week or so left to vote cappuccinos, and then I'm on the long blacks.
So it's a long journey.
Long black, long journey.
Long journey, but a long journey, I've always said this, a long journey begins with a long black. Coffee.
I kind of feel like you've been on this journey for a while though already.
Well, it's a long journey, Dan. It's a long.
So
Well, no, he opted off it though.
you got off the journey?
No, well, like the fucking train stopped for a little bit for repairs.
was it your fault the train stopped, or
Nah, look, I don't. It's not about apportioning specific blame. I was on the train when it stopped though, and I'm still on it. Like I got off. While we're waiting, it was track work and shit, and then I'm now back on, maybe slightly heavier than when I got off, but. We're heading in the
so
right
you got off?
direction.
You had a few Big Macs. You got back on.
Couple, this and that. Maybe I had a packet of fucking chocolate-covered Scotch fingers last night that my wife
my
brought that
God.
she shouldn't have. I'm like, don't bring him into my house. Don't bring him into my house.
Do you actually say that to her though? Do you
I
say
literally
don't
said
bring?
to her last night, I go, you can't bring him into the house.
But
You
after
don't-
you had eaten them,
Yeah, I'd eat them.
so she hadn't had have you had conversations about bringing chocolate?
Is she enabling
covered
you?
Scotch?
Well, she likes
Is
it
she
as
a
well.
feeder?
Nah, she likes it as well, but she just needs to know, like, just to hide it herself. Because I'll get like almost tunnel vision at some point at night. I'll just be cruising around. I'm like, I'm looking for it, but she just left them out, and I pounded them. And I had one. She bought 2 packs. I had 1 pack.
Matty, what do we got there, mate?
So obviously as we all know, he started furiously denying that he ever got ab implants. Now it's actually on his website that he invented the idea, patented it, and now gets royalties every time someone gets ab implants. What? So,
He reckons he gets royalties every time someone gets ab implants.
unless this is a huge piss take. This is on liverking.com. It says, in fact, I was the first one. More accurately, I invented the idea itself, patented the procedure, which is why I receive royalties to this day on each one that is performed. Each implant
He
costs 10
can
K.
just say that
I think
right as
that's a-
well.
I think
Like,
that's
that's
a
a
piss
wall
take.
pull,
I
right?
think
I love the fact that he just goes all in on the yarn. Like, there's no stepping away from it. He'll just continue.
But also, he also said when he got caught doing fucking steroids that he'd stop doing them. Doesn't look like he
No,
has.
it doesn't look like he stopped. But like, he would have abs without the implants, wouldn't he?
nah, some people
People
like,
that Jack don't. Like, he's too thick.
but also abs. Like some people just
He's
don't
like-
have abs. Like as in
He's
they
just
have
so
abs,
pronounced.
but some people just can't get them as well as other people genetically.
Maybe that's what's happening with me.
Or you reckon you're genetically disadvantaged?
I think it potentially. I'm not saying that is it. I haven't looked into it.
So you're going to start, I guess, picket fencing and saying genetic privilege is a thing.
Well, so I'm just certainly going to be like, let's put less hot people on TV and let's
Oh.
like put more fucking
you
approachable,
dare. Don't you
approachable doughy adults.
Oh my
You know what I mean? Like,
God.
why am I not in Barbie?
But,
Oh my god!
yeah.
Why am I not in Barbie? Like, why the fuck is it Ryan Gosling?
There are people that look like you and Barbie. Nah, there's not.
I was going to say.
To be fair, like, I hate to give you this compliment, but you are on the better looking side, so you can't complain about shit like
No,
that.
but I can because my body is fucked, and I'm not even sure.
But
about
that's
my
God's
face.
way
I'm
of
really-
just balancing you out.
Like, I'll take the compliment, but I would prefer you to say, "Fuck, dude, your body's looking."
What would you rather? Be a good sort or be a fucking mad athlete? As in, don't worry about being a professional athlete, blah blah. Just a fucking throbber or a good sort.
Probably a good sort. I don't know. Though.
Really?
Like, I don't know.
How
like,
good-
as in,
how good?
how good of an athlete am I?
Well,
Like,
how good of a
professional
sword?
athlete?
How good of a sword?
Yeah, that's also
You walk into a room and you know you're the best athlete.
You're a head turner. You
best
just know.
athlete or best looking.
Well,
Either
best
or.
looking or best athlete.
Okay, can I get paid for my athleticism? Like,
can't-
do I
you-
reach? No, but do I reach it because
You can't get paid for either.
Okay.
Yeah, well, but you are sort of getting paid in looks, right? You are sort of.
You're getting paid in crumpet.
Yeah, but being
You're getting paid in crumpet, and you're also getting paid in.
but some chicks love just pure athleticism.
You're getting paid. I tell you right now, if you're drop dead gorgeous, getting paid in crumpet, and also good-looking people, doors open.
Okay.
You can open a door.
Okay, you
with
can get
looks.
paid for both.
Where-
Athlete, probably.
Probably, yeah. I mean, I'd rather be an alpha than,
So yeah, look, isn't
than
it
a pretty
weird?
boy.
Yes. Like if I was a weapon at something, athletic.
Look, just being a hectic, but like I feel like there's a threshold though. Like I feel like there's a point where you just want to be the best looking in the room because you can more readily get the advantages of it. And then there's a point that you go past where you become an athlete that is, you know what I'm saying? Because there's plenty of good athletes that no one gives a shit about.
Yep.
Whereas like being good looking on a day-to-day basis, you get advantages.
I guess the thing I think that's good about being the best athlete is like you're bringing something. Like if you're just bringing your looks to the table, that is sort of vacuous and vapid, if that's the word. I don't know, like my V's. But like... so with it-
Vapid.
Look, don't quote me on it, but I think I'm right.
So
Hey,
Doozy,
you boys were quoted a lot this week. Can you walk us through the new fame that you've found? Well, sorry, apologies, not new fame, but I guess just an
well,
expanding.
listen. When you're on Kyle and Jackie O, mate, that's a
That's
level of fame that not many reach.
not many get there.
Not many get there. What we discovered. Tom specifically, I shouldn't take all the credit, although I will take by virtue 50%.
Yeah.
Danny Widler, Danny W,
D-dubs.
the big fella,
Widesy.
Mr. In the Shot,
Oh,
D-dubs.
Widesy boy.
best mate of ours.
Wide angle.
He wrote in his column, second page from the back or the front, the back.
Second page from the back, Sunday, Herald. I can't remember if he's got like a quirky name for his thing. Like, does Buzz have a quirky name for his one? I don't know if it's just like, Wides of the Mark or something. But he reported quite dutifully that Nathan Cleary of Chin from the Gods fame, of Rugby League Throbber fame, that he was spotted with Mary Fowler of Australian footballing great fame, 20 years young, beautiful, talented. Spotted having an ice cream together after a sponsorship event. I noted that was a very small article, footnote sort of stuff. Blink and you'll miss it. And all we did as journalists of note was report on it, discuss it, and discuss that, maybe we're lacking a Gen Z sporting power couple. Now, did that blow up on TikTok? Does anyone know what happens on TikTok or why anything makes sense? Do you get fucking hundreds of thousands of views in a video and 0 follows? Yeah, you do, and it doesn't make sense at all. And does it keep you up at night? Not keep you up at night, but it certainly pisses you off a little bit. So that happened, and then now we're everywhere, dude. Now we're basically everywhere.
Do we need to renegotiate? Is that where we're getting towards?
Fuck, dude. Like when you're getting quoted on we were the top story on Daily Mail this morning.
That's an achievement.
By we, I mean them, but we were in there.
We were quoted.
We were quoted.
And for what it's worth, Denon, I like to see our role less as journalists, less as reporters, and more as that guy with wings with love arrows.
Oh,
Cupid.
Yeah, okay.
I want to see young Australians falling in love. Yeah. That's what I want to see. I want to see young Australians at the top of their craft find each other.
But specifically athletes.
I think that, listen, if I gun to my head, who do I think Mary should be with? I'd say athlete. Gun to my head, who should Nathan be with? I would have said athlete.
Imagine the genetics.
Yeah.
Now we're talking about elite offspring. In China, they would have been forced together.
Yeah.
Shout out to Yang Ming and his parents. And to China.
Yep.
For pushing the boundaries of what's possible. But
And what's
ethics
reasonable.
and morals.
and what's reasonable and what's ethical. There's no line for them. That's by the by. What I want to see is two young, hot, talented, sexy, athletic Australians come together in holy matrimony.
Yeah.
People point out that Mary lives in London or Manchester.
Oh, love conquers
Manchester,
all.
and I say 2-2 to that. I don't even know if that's a term.
Ta-ta?
Ta-ta to that. Tut-tut to that. Nah to that.
That was fucked.
I don't think...
This is definitely not going viral on TikTok.
Well, not this one. No, like tut-tu to Jesus.
2-2, tut-tut, nah. I think that Nathan gets a bit of fucking time off. 3-4 months a year?
Oh, yeah.
Mary probably gets 3-4 months a year off.
Yeah.
Don't quote me on that. Combine them together, you're getting 6 to 8 glorious months.
Yeah.
4 months apart over
Rugby
a
league
year.
months.
Nothing.
That's rugby league
Nothing.
math.
Like they share an ice cream together. Now, look, the details are a little bit scant. Were they sharing an ice cream? Was it a cone? Was it a cup? Did they have an ice cream each?
What ice cream do they have? What
But is an ice cream shared basically a hookup? Like you sharing an ice cream with someone, to us, that's tantamount to fucking.
And we've been out of the game for a while, so we don't know what
We don't know what the kids are doing these days, but if you're sharing an ice cream, I'm prepared to deduce that you are probably going steady almost. And now, apparently Nathan's denied it, but that's exactly what someone would do.
And that's like honestly showing your ankles back in my days.
Exactly right. You know what I mean? That's it.
Oh, there was a lot of ankle showing.
Yeah.
If you're going for ice cream, I'm sorry, but it's on. It's on.
I tell you what was insane though, and shout out to everyone who reported on our reporting of a report.
Who also was the
They
Herald who reported it, and then we reported that the Herald reported it, and then the Herald reported that we reported it.
Like we ripped their story, then they ripped our story that we ripped from them.
You're playing journalistic ping pong.
Yeah, dude.
The Herald
I don't even know if they
that
realised.
they'd written it.
They didn't even know. I think Danny's probably thinking, "What the fuck?" But completely forgot what I was going to say.
Nice.
Other than Nathan, they were basically like, to say that we were reporting on the facts, I just found to be absolutely wild. Because then when they quote us, like Eddy goes, unless they're filming an ice cream commercial, they're dating.
That was a quote.
Wasn't it great how the media works? Like they throw this like thing out, and then they just build off something that's not true.
They
It's
follow
complete
each other on
bullshit.
Instagram.
But like,
she
if you
only
listen-
follows 700 people, and one of them's Nathan. So
If you listen to us talking, it was like it was clearly G up, mayo out the arse, and then they quote us as being legitimate sources, saying that we reported on it. It's crazy. You can see it was a real insight into how the media write fucking anything. Or at least if someone says something in jest, they can just take it and make it seem legitimate.
You know, my favourite thing that probably came in I don't know, 2-3 years ago, maybe a bit more, is that headlines on websites and that include tweets from random people about matches and that.
So like fans fucking blow up about someone and they've got 4 tweets and you're like, okay, well this isn't. I mean, is that all you need? 4 tweets?
Explosive explosive vitriol around such X teams.
Fans turn on Latrell Mitchell.
It's like 4 tweets of random people. It's the best.
Shout out to him. Initially when I saw it, I was like, "Oh, this thing's blowing up." And then I saw him quoting us because I didn't even remember what we say. You know what I mean? And then I'm seeing quoting like, "An ice cream is the culinary smooch," and I'm like, someone wrote that out, put that in an article.
You're in the content flow.
Yeah,
you can't be held accountable for the content flow.
Listen, I want to be held accountable now, but before I remembered what I'd said, I was like, "Oh, fuck."
Well, we want it to be attributed to us if they get together.
Yeah. If they don't get together, it's a Widler story.
Okay, but if they get together, it's a Hello Sport love story.
Exclusive.
Yeah. And we're Cupid.
Nathan's denied it, but like, of course, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, but Nathan...
he's protecting her.
Well...
Exactly. It's actually very chivalrous.
Imagine if you are like, you get a girlfriend, right? Or you're seeing a girl and you've just gone on a date, but you want to go out with her. If you go back to school the next day or go back to work and they go, "Oh, how was your date?" You're not going to go, "We're going out," when you're not.
Absolutely.
All you did was you can see a path to dating or going out full time, but all it was an ice cream and maybe a little hand touch and maybe a little smooch. That's all it was. You're going to go telling everyone, telling the world. You're not going to tell the fucking media that you're going out.
It'd be very uncouth too to do that.
It'd be wildly uncouth, then. So I'm not surprised that he came out saying there's nothing going on, because why would he? He's not a psychopath.
Could you imagine if this was actually genuinely they did go on a date? What an awkward position it puts both of them in.
Yeah, I was also thinking about it. I'm like, Jesus, this will be an awkward conversation. Like, sorry, guys. Who the fuck are these Hello Sport pricks talking about us?
But I tell you what, it makes me...
It was Danny Widler. Don't get angry at us.
Makes me even more proud of the great Mary Fowler. She's a fan of rugby league.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
But
And that's a good Aussie girl.
But she strikes me as a fan of rugby league.
You know, well, dude, we were trending on Papua New Guinea and Facebook. So, can you imagine Papua New Guinea having like their girl, like, she's half Papuan, like they're fucking obsessed with her. They're like her village, I think has like a banner like Home Mary Fowler. And now,
Oh, really?
Yeah, and now she's like, well, not now she is, but if it comes true, if Cupid's arrow does its job, then she's now like with the biggest name in fucking rugby league. Like they would lose their shit.
She'd be a bigger name than Cleary though, I reckon now.
Maybe I don't know. Actually, like maybe
I
you're
reckon.
right, but like he's
Getting
like
closer. For sure.
Is it their national sport rugby league? Like they're froth it.
Oh,
but I
you mean in PNG?
Yeah.
I'm talking worldwide.
Oh,
because of the World Cup.
Yeah, maybe. She got 174,000 followers in 4
Probably,
weeks.
yeah.
And she's just getting started. Give
Yeah.
her a few more years.
She's 20.
Yeah. She's only 20. She's
She had the biggest growth.
I
of
reckon
any player.
she's the A side. I'm just going to say it. I love Cleary.
I'm with you, dude.
I reckon she's
I'm
the A
with you.
side.
Yeah, well,
She's
she's got
A-side.
global appeal.
She's got global
Cleary
appeal.
deal.
Cleary has like a 10th global appeal.
And
you know
he's
what I
a
mean?
rugby league rat bag as
He's
well.
a rugby league rat bag.
Yep.
Don't forget, guys, Bloke Lager on special in celebration stores in New South Wales and Queensland. Look for your nearest celebration stores on their website. Get down there, grab a case of Bloke Lager for a cracker price. Let's get straight into it. There's dramas at 2 Club, but we'll speak about the first one first. The drama at South Sydney. Some would argue there's equal drama at Manly, but that's just some people. I would not say that.
No, I wouldn't.
Reports emerge a few days ago that Jason Demetrio would hold some players at a different standard. I don't want to get into all that because that's just like you don't really know. What we do know, Sam Burgess has left his position as assistant coach. If you ask some people, he's decided to leave. If you ask others, he was, I guess, let go. Then you've got other things of coaches him saying he accidentally liking things, saying bad things about players in the squad. Some believing he meant to do it. He's apologised to the playing group. So there's a lot going on at the Rabbitohs.
Also confirmed John Morris will be at the Tigers next year. Tigers have released a statement.
Soup. It's a
So John Morris as an
Also
assistant?
gone.
Yeah, he's gone as well.
He's gone.
To the Tigers.
Assistant to Benji.
But next year.
And apparently, because this has been recorded on a Wednesday, NRL 360, I saw Brayton asked a dear, close, personal friend of the show on his Instagram saying Sam Burgess, why he left, is being answered on
The truth.
Yeah, the truth. So don't get up us for not knowing the full truth, nothing but the truth. So help us God, because it hasn't happened yet here. But if we're going to speculate on the truth, I think Sam and Trell probably had a beef punch on. Maybe one of them caught each other in the bathrooms, or I don't know. Speculating right now, but that's what we're hearing.
It does seem interesting. Let's be fair dinkum.
Okay.
By this weekend, game next weekend against Roosters, got to win it to make the finals probably. I think that's the math. They've had a fucking awful sort of 10 weeks. The fact that your 2 assistant coaches are leaving now
Very strange.
is very odd. It is very, very fucking odd. And there's clearly something that's gone down. That's obvious to me. If they put their hand up, maybe Sam and John come out and they put their hands up and go, we wanted to leave. Bullshit. You don't fucking leave now. What a weird... if you're all in at the club, you're assistant coach, you don't leave at this time of year. Something has happened.
Something's gone
but
down.
But you layer this in with Demetrio admitting to liking these sort of
No, he accidentally did it.
But okay, so he accidentally did it.
I actually believe that, because you'd have to be a fucking idiot to like him.
It's okay. It doesn't matter if it was accident or not. That happened. Then all these rumours are coming out about Cameron Murray, Harry Garrett, Latrell at the video session. I understand that happens at all clubs. I really do get that. But it's sort of the timing, and then you layer on top of that that damning video evidence of Latrell appearing not to have a crack in the game where they fucking got pounded. It's just. All these things are happening at the same time. So it's very difficult, at least for me, a guy who doesn't know what he's talking about, to separate them from each other. They seem connected.
Well, I mean, before, even on Monday's show, I said that it looks like there's more going on off the field. It looks like a bad environment at the moment. They don't look happy.
Yeah.
So it's clearly something going on. To pretend like this is just a mutual parting, or there's clearly, if I had to speculate, I would say Burgess and Morris wanted the team to be run a certain way. Demetrio wants it run a different way. And they've basically gotten so much tension has built up over so many months of disagreements. They've gotten to the point where it's I'm not going to be a part of this anymore because I don't believe in it. At the same time, maybe the club has gone, if you're not on board, you shouldn't be here. And I reckon that's probably what's happened.
I saw someone reporting that Burgess leaked shit to the media.
They've come out and categorically said that's not true. Rabbitohs have said that.
Okay, right.
I do think that the Rabbitohs probably... It's very easy for me to say, and I said this on the Captain Run earlier, very easy for me to say because it's a public, it's a big company with a huge community. But I do think that if the Rabbitohs had just come out and been as honest as they could be, not to say that they aren't honest or intentionally lying, but it does seem a lot's been omitted. Mm-hmm. If they could have been more clear as to exactly what went down, as clear as they could be, it actually stops the speculation that's going to happen for the next 2 to 3 weeks.
Yeah.
You'll have hectic headlines for the next 24 to 48 hours.
Yep.
But then it kind of goes away because it's we know what happened.
But also, this is going to be fucked preparation for the game against the Roosters. And then on top of that, let's not forget all that. I don't even know if it was just complete dribbly bullshit rumours, but I read it from multiple different places about Whiten trying to backflip out of his deal with the Rabbitohs.
Did you read that? Yeah, but he's apparently
it's still out there.
No, yeah.
It's still out there. And I know that in rugby leagues, more often than not, there's a lot of bullshit out there. But sometimes, or at least often, there is a little bit of smoke.
Well, I mean, the facts are Sam Burgess, a club legend, has bounced early. That's not a small deal.
No,
it's a massive deal.
There is no way it's I'm just going to concentrate on Warren and have a kid.
You've got a must-win game next week.
Yeah.
Must win.
Nah, it just doesn't.
With a great team that, if humming, could win the comp. What are we talking about?
What do you think about preferential treatment of players, which is what's alluded to?
Well,
because I've heard some people say that just happened. Wayne Bennett does that shit all the time.
Yeah, I was going to say it depends. Of course they're treated differently. Every one of the senior players or the best players get treated differently.
Yes.
Now, how differently, and is it negatively affecting the side? That's a different kind of discussion.
We treat Matty differently.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, we spit on him and fucking yell at him. Tie his shoelaces together and shit.
So it's hard, because is that a journalist technically saying the truth? They get treated differently, but there's no legs to it. So if someone was to pull, a journalist up, and obviously not all journos just make shit up. It's not at all. I actually think, a lot of times it's truth of story, but sometimes what they can do, some of them, is take a truth kind of out of context, and they can always fall back on, well, they do get treated differently. And it's like, well, of course they do. Every superstar gets treated differently at a club compared to a fucking 50 grand fringy.
Well, it's like saying Mary Fowler and Nathan Cleary together because we said it. Do you know what I mean? Like,
they were seen together. You can't deny that. That is true.
That is a fact. They were
Nathan
seen
said it was
together
just ice.
at an ice cream place.
Therefore, ipso facto.
That's true.
And so I don't know whether, do they get treated differently, and also Sam Burgess had an issue with that? Or do they get treated differently and Sam Burgess had a different issue? The two things could be completely separate.
Yes, they could be. And that's the problem. You don't really know. That's why we have to sit here speculating out the arse, which I enjoy doing. But, you are essentially sort of like urine in the wind, essentially.
Urine in the wind.
Well, it can hit you or it can go around you.
No, it's true.
It can go fucking anywhere.
Yeah.
Well, it could go that way, or if you're facing, you're pissing all over yourself.
Yeah. Or you can spin around in circles, you get a bit of both. So, did you see...
So the Rabbitohs are just spinning around in circles.
Yeah,
they're getting a bit of both.
They're pissing and spinning, buddy. Did you see the footage of Latrell Mitchell that was aired on 360 and then it was all over Fox League socials and stuff? To me, and I'm a huge Latrell dick rider. Always have been proudly Latrell dick rider. But that footage to me seemed like there were moments in the game where he wasn't having a fucking crack. Am I misreading that?
Well,
am I getting that wrong? Because
yeah.
again, I don't sit on a video session,
Well,
so you could show me anything and I could fucking believe it, right?
look, you could go to games that they've won and won well, and probably find areas that Trell, doesn't cover defense and because they're losing.
But when compared to his contemporaries, your Dylan Edwards.
But he's never gonna. Even when he's played his best footy, it hasn't been the same as his contemporaries.
Sure.
He doesn't cover as much ground as them. He doesn't usually support through the middle as much because he's a bigger body. But they don't do things that he does. So I don't know whether it's right or wrong. What I can say is that you could probably go back to some of the games where we thought he played incredible and find a bunch of moments where he was taking a shortcut, resting, because he's the kind of player that is so crafty. He looks for little gaps. Even guys like Reece Walsh, they've sometimes looked for little ways to rest or to not run many Ks. Now, obviously, Reece Walsh, he does get through a lot of work and a lot of Ks, but I'm just using him as an example. So it's hard to say unless you've seen evidence. If you put his best game, one of his better games against that, and you said, look, he didn't do any of that in his best games, but he did it here, then you can go, okay, there's an issue there.
Yeah.
But if you...
No, good point. And they don't show both.
I found myself, and this is slightly off topic, but when you said Reece Walsh, I couldn't help it. But I missed the Broncos last weekend, and I hate saying it, but I missed them. I was like, fuck, I could watch a Broncos game. I missed them.
You got lost in the eyes.
But it's not just Reece, just the team.
Paddy's hair?
Paddy's hair.
Paddy's hair?
Fucking...
Kaza?
Renault's tats?
What's his name?
What do we call him?
Payne
Kaza?
Haas's big, beautiful beard and fucking square head. It's just he's
Super
this
square
big
head.
monster. I missed it all. I missed the flair. I miss Renault. I fucking hate the Broncos. I don't know what I'm doing.
Tony Stagg's explosiveness.
Tony Staggs sucking on toes. Jesus Christ, dude. I miss
It's a
it
rugby
all.
league team. It's got everything.
They're a good football side. But I'm a Warriors guy now.
You need
man.
a toe sucker if you're going to win the comp.
Mate, that's what you want your rugby league
Sure
players
doesn't
to be
hurt.
doing.
We're coming out, though, as Warriors fans for the remainder of the season.
Oh,
As
really?
in Manly, obviously, we can't make the finals. So,
Are you turncoating or?
well, no, because we're half Kiwi. So,
apologies.
we're just going to...
No. What we've done is,
Okay.
who are you going to support in the finals? And we said no one. But if it's going to be someone else other than no one, 'cause
That
Manny's
sounds
not
more
there,
reasonable than we're now Warriors fans.
Well, for the remainder of the year during finals, so not now, but once finals
Okay.
hits, then I am...
Once Manly are officially out of the comp,
Yeah.
then we turn our attention to
Waz.
That sounds more reasonable than we're now
My
Warriors
time.
fans. I've got to be honest with you.
Well, no, look, and I obviously am
I can see.
I can see how that came across, but I just want to let everyone know from my Manly contingent that I'm still a Manly fan. For the next
Still
2
proud?
weeks, still proud.
Still loud?
And then when finals rolls around, I'm fucking running my fingers through DWZ's mullet.
You know what I am excited about with Rabbitohs? I hope this makes Big Trelly Mitt and Cody Walker angry, so they come out and go skits against the Roosters.
Well, Trell won't be there.
Trell won't
I
be
can't
there.
believe he didn't
Good
fight.
point.
So I mean, he might.
Very good point.
He might just be angry at home.
Well, I hope Cody Walker comes out and has a fucking
Did he not
blinder.
try and...
didn't try.
Why?
I just don't think he.
Couldn't you just... You could just... Yeah, but you could just lose, like, miss the fucking a game next season.
Well, don't you miss the finals week 1? Wouldn't you miss finals week 1?
He would, if he lost, he
Yeah,
would have missed
they
2
make
weeks,
finals
and that's finals week 1, and it's also Vegas next year or Indigenous All Stars.
Oh,
So-
Vegas.
You
Oh, he
don't
doesn't
miss
want to miss
Vegas.
Vegas.
That's
You
eyes
don't
up
miss
footy.
Vegas.
That's eyes up footy.
Oh, Latrell.
That's a
good
Vegas
stuff,
call.
bro.
He's probably going, no, fuck that. We're not challenging it. I did that. I meant it as well.
I think... Yeah. Mate, I reckon...
Would have been funny if they made him challenge it and he goes in there and he's like, I meant to do it.
Yeah. Rabbitohs clause.
Yeah. No, I did that.
Sorry, Vegas clause. Yeah, I found that interesting. Now that I know that it was about Vegas, it makes more sense. Makes a lot more sense.
But speaking of Manly, Josh
Yep.
Schuster is now our 18th man.
Yep.
Actually, before we get into that, I'd love to get your honest opinions on, and not that you would never be honest,
No.
on the Reuben Garrick tackle.
Mate, like, okay, by the letter of the law, if I was to rifle through the rugby league or NRL specifically
So you're going to
handbook,
put your Lee Hadjipatelis lawyer hat on.
yeah, Bryden's lawyer, shout out to you.
Litigious Lee.
Yeah, if I was
Not
if
an
I-
ad.
If I, you know, it's not. It's
you
not.
want
Well, it can be if you want to pay us, but otherwise it's not. If you want to get litigious, Denon, and I tend to get litigious from time to
Well,
time.
Lee does.
Well, in my spare time, I get
So his name's
litigious.
Lee.
Well, litigious Lee.
We all know about that. He's suing podcasters.
Yeah, if I'm getting litigious, you know what I mean, by putting on my spectacles and my
Inspector
robes
Gadget's
and my
hat.
fineries and my Inspector Gadget hat, and using the finest ink and the finest quill, then yeah, it was legal. But what I find ridiculous in the extreme is if you have a law whereby you can't tackle someone who's gone up for a kick
Or even kickers.
or to defuse. Yeah, so kickers are protected, and the man jumping up to defuse the kick is protected. I would assume, call me crazy, for safety reasons, that if the ball hits the ground and bounces as high, if not higher, than defusing a fucking kick, that seems fucking absurd to me. That you can just take that guy out. As soon as it bounces, you can just go bing, ping in there, land on the neck, snap it, stiff shit, mate, in the laws.
Yeah.
Madness.
Maybe this could be though, like, you know how there's like movies, like, I don't know if anyone remembers, you probably don't, and nor should you. It's probably other movies I could use here, but I can't think of them. But Erin Brockovich, Julia Roberts' Oscar-winning performance.
When like goldfish, not
Now,
goldfish,
like
the opposite
water
of a
purity
goldfish.
and shit.
But
like,
she's got a genius memory, right?
I don't know if that's what it is, but I know that she becomes a lawyer. She's like a small town chick, but then like they're poisoning the water, and then she fights the big fucking corporations, and then she overturns some law, and then now she gets a movie about her, like saving people's lives. Like maybe this is yours, maybe our story about fighting City Hall where we overturn a law. And it becomes like Tom and Eddie's law.
Yes.
Where now they go, fucking, you can't take it.
Well, it's good if you get on it quickly because Laney's already come out and said they're looking at it. So the momentum's already there.
So maybe
So
we
Teddy's
start
law.
pushing it.
So you like cut to a montage of us late at night eating Chinese, like just
Reading
rifling
through
through
shit.
legal books, like
Yeah.
coming up with legal precedents, being litigious,
Yeah.
Chinese, and like, like
And we
I'll
don't
see you
really
at
know
home,
law
and-
either, and it's like,
Yeah,
fuck.
like-
And then like one of us finds something like, dude,
Yeah.
check this bit.
And
Oh,
you're
that's
like
in
your
the
partners have like a baby crying and they're like, come back to bed.
Ruben-
You're like,
Ruben's fractured his
needs me.
fucking L1
we
and
got,
L2.
We got fucking highlighters out the wazoo, and then you cut to me throwing another highlighter in the bin, and the bin's full
Filled
of
with
highlighters because I'm just highlighting until
Yeah.
the cows come home, and then I'm using post-it notes with reckless abandon. And
Black
again,
coffee.
and Tom's like, "Do you want to come home? Like, you burn the midnight oil?" And I'm like, "I'm gonna do it, man." And I stay there all night.
Well,
and then
no,
I'm
I'm
sleeping
there
on
as
the couch.
well. Like, don't write me out of the fucking story.
I think you'd go home.
No,
No,
but
no,
I'm just saying,
I'm
no,
in
you
the
know,
story
you got
too, I'm
kids.
there.
I don't, so
Yeah,
I've
but
got to
that's what I'm
burn. I've got to
learning
burn
my
that
fucking
midnight oil.
responsibilities for the betterment of the game.
I think you get written out, honestly.
That's fucked, dude. Can I get a credit somewhere? Do I get my name in the credit?
I think you
that.
die actually in it.
Fuck, that actually would work though. I
Yeah.
think if I die, that actually works for the story.
Yeah, you die.
Yeah,
You have a heart attack.
Well,
and then
let's
it's
give
called
me-
the Tom Birmingham Memorial Law.
As long as I get like a plaque or some shit.
You
that'd
die
be-
fighting people that are trying to keep the law
Yeah,
the way it
okay,
is.
that's cool. I get bashed to death by people that don't want to change the
You
law.
need to fight that law, but we need to sacrifice blood
Someone's
sweat
got
and
to go.
tears.
No, someone's got to go. In
And
every
lives.
movie, there's got to be a sacrificial lamb. I'll take it. I'm not stoked about it because
You're like Dumbledore. He died.
Don't give me
Spoiler
Dumbledore.
alert. Spoiler alert.
Yeah, I actually didn't know that.
Yeah, but you don't watch the movies, which I've always found highly suspect.
That is also offensive.
Sorry, I know that. I just listen.
Oh, I forgot you got kids. You can't watch movies.
I can't yet, but I
What
do
was the
look
one you
forward
said you
to.
couldn't watch?
The Thailand one,
doco.
the cave one.
Still fucking
busy.
one of the best
Too
docos
busy.
I've ever seen. But I am too busy.
You know what I did when I got home? I watched a movie just to prove a point. When I got home with a kid.
Yeah, right. You watched it. Well, that's too early. You can watch a movie when they're new.
Oh,
that's yours, by the way,
okay,
buddy.
okay.
Thanks, mate.
You can watch
bit
a movie when they're brand new.
Bit of cash exchange.
Well,
No,
he
I
bought us,
just-
he
I had
bought
to-
us this Kingfisher water, not an ad. Natural Springs, pure natural spring water. Production
thought-
of Australia, 100% Australian owned, 600 mils. It's non-carbonated. Deep
that-
in the mountain ranges of eastern Australia, Kingfisher natural springs flow from ancient rock strata several hundred feet below the surface. With its fresh, pure, and light taste, Kingfisher natural springs deliver Australia's premium spring water, punters and dribblers.
Is
Not
water,
an ad.
is water in different bottles like one of the biggest whirlpools all time?
I remember actually like
Water
when
in-
bottled water started coming in because when we grew up, they didn't bottle water. Didn't used to be a
Wasn't a
thing.
thing. Wasn't a thing.
No. Bottled
almost seems
water,
a bit weird.
Bottled water is the
Like to
greatest
buy.
whirlpool in the history of mankind.
But you know what, dude?
It's like 10 times more. Oh, no. So what's fuel? $2 a litre. This would be $5 for 600 mils. So you're looking at like $7.50 a litre. Call it 300% more expensive.
We've
than
started
petrol.
buying water.
That is absurd.
We started buying water for our house because now I'm like, I'd heard something somewhere that was completely uncorroborated and I didn't do any research into it.
here
But
we
now
go.
I'm like, I
Conspiracy
just want to
stuff.
drink like,
You can get filtered water. You can get filters.
yeah, I could get filters or I just buy the sort
Oh,
of
I
like,
thought you were going down the route
But do you
of
buy plastic bottled water?
No, not plastic, like one of those big casks, like a big fucking
filtered
10
water.
litre cask.
Healthy
Oh,
water.
right.
You can taste the difference.
I thought you were going to go down the route of like water's the most valuable commodity and it's getting taken by all the big corporate.
I mean, I'm worried about that too, but no, I'm not.
Well, I knew you'd be worried
Yeah,
about
no,
it.
obviously I've got my eye on it. I'm big water trying to fucking take me water.
water.
Gigaliters and shit, you know what I mean? I'm aware of it. But
But there is
no.
fucking big water when you think about the cost per litre of water that we can get out of a
I don't
tap.
actually think about it like that when you think about how much it costs for a bottle.
I do.
I mean, I'll
fucking
push big
absurd.
water if you want to add, like, put ads on the show.
Sure, I'll push big water all the way till the cows come home. But
Would you push big oil?
Would I push big oil?
Yeah.
probably.
Big oil check came in the mail.
Yep.
I mean, that's a weird way to pay you, but
Listen,
Yeah, checks.
listen. Newsflash, oil's in everything at the moment. And it's not just in fucking your car. It's in fucking everything.
Matty's
Everything. Most
is-
things in this fucking room that aren't made of wood have got oil in them.
Matty's a big anti-oil guy.
You anti-oil.
Nah, I just made that up.
Anyway, don't shoot me. I'm pointing it out. I'm pointing it out that there's oil in most
So
things.
BP
That's all I'm
Shell,
saying.
reach out.
Don't reach out, but like,
Well-
or reach out privately.
Yeah. DM privately and we'll just start slipping your name in.
Yeah. Big tobacco as well. You can reach out. Just
Big
joking.
dart.
Just joking. So basically, the reason, Denon, this is been a long way of saying
been a
it.
penalty.
No. I think that Schuster was dropped because he wants
No,
to.
we're talking about the
Yeah,
Reuben
but no.
Oh,
no.
okay. Apologies.
I think Schuster was dropped because he's looking to defend his mate, Reuben Garrick.
Oh, that's a
You think
great
he's
tie-in.
opening the legal books?
He
You
can't
and I
read. He
prepared
can't
to
even
do it?
You
see.
can't even say. Well, we get Braille.
Oh,
Braille.
Braille.
You can do
Apologies.
with
My
your
bad.
fingers.
My bad.
That was
Apologies,
really
bud.
Come on, that
I'll
was.
tell you what.
that was extremely
that was
exclusionary.
fucked,
I will tell
Why
you.
do you
though-
reckon he's been dropped? If not for that,
Well, first I got to tell you is that content tie-in was next level. I'll give you that. We weren't even on that level. Me
No,
and
that
Tom.
was. We didn't know where you were going with that.
I'm like 10 steps ahead of you. Can't. I have to dull it down. Anyway.
Yeah.
But so if not for his Aaron Brockovich moment, why would he have been dropped? Do you think?
In your opinion.
No,
my-
I want to hear what you think.
Okay, what I think, because he didn't have a run in like 20 minutes or whatever, and
Yeah.
7 tackles, 1
Yeah,
miss,
it was 0
1 error.
runs.
Zero. That was a good point you make.
0 runs.
0 runs and his I think his first touch was a tap on
When it went out?
Forward. Yeah, it went out, went forward. It was fucked.
Out and
It was
forward.
fucked. Out and forward.
Foul.
It went back, forward, and out.
It was fair.
It was foul. Yep, it was foul. He's listen, man. He seems like a nice dude. But he's not playing very well.
He has left us the club in what I would refer to as a rugby league pickle. Mm-hmm. If rumours are to be believed, and we can only go off rugby league rumours, that's all we can do on this show. 800,000 a year, 4 years, 3.2 million. You want a bloke like that playing footy.
Good footy, though.
Good footy. He's been dropped. He needs to have one of the great off seasons all the time. Come back and rip and fucking tear.
He's got to have one of the great. He's got to he has to completely change.
Otherse, what are we?
He's been dropped twice now this year. But also,
and he didn't make the team last year too.
Him aside, right? Take the kid out of it. Because I'm calling him a kid because he's 23 probably or 22. But
he's young.
He's young. But Manly is fucking shit the bed almighty here. They re-signed him on 800 grand. Believe in the rumours. He was dropped earlier this year. It just seems like a very bizarre and unnecessarily large amount of money. I'm not saying don't re-sign the guy, but Jesus Christ.
I don't think you should have re-signed him early this year.
Well, we didn't need to, right?
No, he's contracted to 2024.
Yeah, we didn't need to, but we certainly didn't need to extend and upgrade. Fuck. And we let go of a young Finau who Guru, if you mention Finau around Guru and then you look at his penis, you'll see it wiggle a little bit. So
he's usually covered in his own nut.
Yeah.
And you released the first grandpa player of all time.
Yeah.
And Kieran Foran. So.
And it might have even been Gordy the other night. The great and the powerful Gordon Tallis was you can't just keep fucking dropping this bloke and then picking him and dropping him and picking him and you can't do that forever. So it's almost the worst case scenario for the club at the moment, given that he was re-signed 6 months ago. Less
couple of weeks.
It was maybe 6 or 7 weeks.
Have I got that wrong?
Yeah,
6
weeks.
weeks.
May or something.
Okay, well, that's just me and my fucking math at the moment. But that's fucked. That's a really bad position for us to be in. And again, I want Schuster to be the man for the Seagulls. I'm team Josh Schuster, but at the moment, it's just not working out.
Very, very late June.
Very late June.
Okay, well, we're fucking late August, 2 months.
Yep.
Yeah.
2 months ago.
Yeah.
I think the thing
and
I
he's
think
been injured for most of that. How many games would he have played in that time period?
No, he hasn't been injured, has he?
Before he
Last
had
year
to he got dropped. He had to train to get back in.
Yeah,
into the
he had a
side.
few early
It's just
season
before
injuries.
that. Yeah.
And the thing is as well, I kind of feel bad for him in the sense that he took the World Cup off to try and rip and tear. He does seem to have some intent there to be good, but he doesn't seem to, if you trust the experts, have a fucking crack.
Well, that's. I just feel I don't think anyone wants. He doesn't need to come out and be the best player in the competition. Just get through a workload, and fans will be like, it'll come because it will come. He's so talented,
And then we'll come.
He's already came.
Too early.
Clearly.
Much too early.
I think even Manly re-signing him came too early.
Yeah, we did. Everyone's coming too early on the beaches at the moment.
Hey, look, it's happened to the best of us.
Shout to Pipe.
But so, who would have been in charge of re-signing him?
The CEO would have had a say in it. Obviously, Seabold definitely would have a say in it.
He definitely would have had a say.
I'd say so. I don't know why you get a coach there to not have a say in a key young signing like that on such big money. He'd have to be a guy that he wanted. He'd have to be.
What I find confusing is that you re-sign a bloke at the end of May. It's now the end of August, so it's 2 months, and there were people in the room that were we're comfortable, really comfortable with giving this sort of extension, that sort of money, rumoured to be, and then not even seeing that this was a possibility. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
And the way that people talk about it now, analysts are well, he's got such a high ceiling, but we've seen a lot of this football, unfortunately, and it's sort of feels to me like he was signed on potential.
Again,
as opposed to what he's actually delivered for the club.
Because this isn't just this year. Unfortunately, he struggled last year as well. It's really just been that first year.
It was that first year. That's right.
That
was good.
Yeah, exactly. In the back row when he killed it, and we're fucking oath, bro.
But again, he's never killed it in the tough stuff. He's never been. He was really slick ball movement. Again, blind man, all that shit. But
it just feels like a lot of money to pay for potential.
I think where Manly's dropped the ball here, because obviously Schuster, sign the contract, bro, get your money. Why would you not do that? Where I feel like Manly's dropped the ball is I just feel like they should have been mate, you owe us. We don't need to sign you before you come off contract. We've given you a big contract. Even if it's not 800K, as I'm talking about the one currently, let's say it's 600K. That's still massive money for a young six, a back row that became six. So I would be saying, if I'm Manly, saying, mate, you had a bit of a quiet year last year and you've just had injuries that you've been struggling a little bit with this year. So we want to re-sign you. We just want to see you get on the field, play some good footy.
Yep.
Boom, the contract's there for you.
Yep.
I just don't know why they need to extend him when he was contracted for the whole next season. And if the argument is, oh, they would have lost him, I think Manly need to say, well, then we lose him.
Yeah.
We lose him. Like,
I remember when it was happening, I was even scared to lose him though. When it was all going, I'm like, we can't fucking lose him. But like, he's been so fucking inconsistent and when bad, fucking awful. Like that chip kick to Brad Parker.
I mean, okay, yeah. It's funny because you could say chip kick with Schuster and you could
pick one where he nailed it, right?
He's fucking unbelievable. Then yeah, we see.
But you're like, but he does seem as well. Like again, like we can all there's an amount of weight you can lose. Right, there's a limit to being able to shred and lose weight, but like there's also like you can lose more weight and you can
be fitter.
You can be
it's
fitter.
Not even it's not even
whether
about
it's weight specific. But you could be fitter.
Yeah.
And he's just not fit at all.
Yeah.
And he's slow as fuck, respectfully. And it's just like,
but
it's not good enough. It's not good enough being a professional footballer.
Yeah. But I think that the mistake was re-signing on potential, not yet realised, as opposed to...
And maybe that's unfair to him
reality.
as well.
Well, I don't think it puts him in the best environment. Yeah. Because if you're a guy that's already struggling with like motivation... why would you be more motivated when you've got 5 more years? What is it? 4, 5, 6, 7. You've got 4 more years on a big wicket. That's the recipe for no motivation as a young fella that's already struggling with motivation.
For sure.
But I think you've both said it. Like, we're all Team Schuster here. We want him to be a superstar. There's not a single one here that would be like, yeah, Schuster didn't fulfill his potential. We'd all be going, fuck, what it is. How unfortunate for him that he didn't get to achieve what we know he can achieve. I had him as Smokey for bloody Origin this year off the bench. If he played, his best potential footy this year, he is honestly like the best 14 you could ever hope for, because he could play essentially anywhere.
Yep.
Anyway, so I hope he turns. I personally believe if I'm Manly in the off season, obviously it's about physical, getting him fit, like as in genuinely fit, but also I'd just be trying to take him to certain places or doing courses with him that make him, and it's very hard when you're young, but just make him appreciate how lucky he is to be a young man playing rugby league on massive amount of money, and like get him involved in communities that don't have the benefit of, and he's worked hard for it. I'm not saying he's lucky to be there, but at the same time, it is still very fortunate to have what he has and to enjoy it. Because as soon as he becomes grateful for the situation he's currently in, he'll kill it because he'll be appreciative of doing it. So I hope he does. I really do. I want to see Schuster kill it.
Big off season.
Huge off season.
Enormous.
And we've seen these flashes of unbelievable brilliance. If we could just see, all he needs to do is take 10 to 15 carries a game, tough, and then just do his D. Everything else will come off the back of that. It's honestly really simple for him because he has more talent than nearly any player in the competition right now. It's unbelievable. So don't forget, guys, Shoe Grab. Make sure to head to Shoe Grab for new shoes. Free delivery on all orders over $99. Sneakers, casual, performance, slide, limited exclusive, plus a bunch of clothes and accessories. That's right, free delivery on $99. Go and support Shoe Grab because they support us. Also, a reminder, Kalen is the code to get free delivery when you spend $15 or more on Menulog. Now, let's get into Sam Walker's return. What do you reckon, boys? Do you reckon Drew Hutchison most unlucky bloke ever?
Tough for Drew.
Well, they've been going pretty well. They've been going really well.
From a purely gambling perspective, I like it for me because I've got the Tigers plus whatever 15. And I'm like, you're ruining a fucking thing that's working a little bit for the Roosters.
I'm surprised.
It seemed like
you're in good form.
Yeah, there's a couple of different ways of looking at it, though. You know, maybe there's a view that Drew got them to this point, and now if they want to go deep in the finals, they need Sam Walker there. I can see that
argument. At least
argument.
with some footy under the belt.
I mean, like when the whips are cracking, although they haven't had this opinion all season, let's be honest.
Round 7 is crazy.
They've not had the trust in Sam at parts of this season. So the fact that they're throwing him in now is interesting for sure. But I sort of see why they're doing it.
Yeah, I do get the idea of like, look, if we want to have a fair shake at this, we probably need a game breaker at 7. But what I just am struggling to, I guess, understand is it wasn't working in round 7. So what has changed since
and it was
then?
and it got quite public, sort of.
Well, he was the only one dropped when they were struggling. Really,
exactly right. It's very interesting. It really is. Is this potentially the coach and the club going, listen, this as a showing of faith in him to try and mend bridges between them because they're like, well, we need him for next year. Is that potentially the thought?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah,
Because they're not going to,
surprised.
like, you know, maybe they've missed out on Ben Hunt, who's not going there, or, you know, they've missed out on Seven, so they're like, we're going to have this bloke next year, and maybe it's worth trying to get him back in now.
Also, like, their season's on the line as well. They need to win every game to make the 8.
They've been in good form with Drewy Hutch. Give Drewy the go. Give Drewy the keys to the city.
Yeah, I would love to sit down with Robbo and just understand, like, what's his thought process this year? You know, what's his thought process for next year?
It would be
Super interesting.
so fucking interesting.
Because
to be able to sit down with coaches and have them answer honestly would be so good.
Because the depth of their thought process would be like, they would have thought about everything. So there's got to be a reason for it. Now,
every possible scenario.
Ryan Papenhuyzen maybe returns this week. Look, the fact that he's even maybe returning this week is amazing.
Happy for him. Get him back.
Happy for Pappy.
He can't be in serious contention for like a starting spot, can he?
Yeah, I think so.
Do you reckon?
Do you reckon wouldn't he come back via the bench?
Yeah,
You'd
yeah,
fuck
maybe.
off Meany and have him start.
Well, I think that, I mean, apologies, you're right, like starting, but I think that, like, they would maybe start, like, he's at 14.
Yep.
He comes on, they see how he goes, and then maybe he becomes the starter. But you're right. You wouldn't just fucking chuck him straight in there.
No. How's he been going for
Pretty good.
Queensland Cup?
Pretty good. Yeah. A few try assists, I think. Goal kicking, passing's been good, over 150 metres maybe. So he's been going pretty good.
Loves an inspirational quote, Ryan.
Love that
on
for
his
him.
IG. He's a real inspirational quote guy. And that's not a knock. I just noticed it the other day.
He's been doing that since before he debuted.
Yeah, he's been doing that
so
for
he's
ages.
got like, he does it like every second or third one.
Third,
and so
every
like down the
third.
middle, it's like funk. All
so he's
inspirational.
Every third.
Pairing. I like that. I like that. Well, the thing, what I love is that he's been doing it for like forever.
Yeah, it's
so
not
it
just like
clearly
a-
works for him.
Yes, it's not just a
Well, it's
thing.
got him back from what you could argue is a strong contender for career-ending injury.
Well, I mean, it ended my career, so I get it.
Well, that's why I get it, because it ended yours.
And
you
I
were
was-
such-
Well,
you shattered
and
your
you
knee.
showed such promise,
Shattered my knee.
mate.
I was just on the fucking
But you
uptick,
showed
you
such
know?
promise, mate.
Seconds Colts.
Such promise.
Just
What position did you play again?
flanker.
Oh, Union.
You know what his nickname was?
Wanker?
Tommy Promise.
Tommy Promise.
Yeah. Tommy Promise.
You're the Schuster of your grade.
Well,
You could have been anyone.
well, listen, the only reason I didn't go on was because of injury as opposed to getting paid too much and not working hard enough. I was the hardest worker in the room, they'd say. That's what people said.
Maybe you should have a chat to him.
I've reached out.
Okay.
He's left me on red.
Yeah, so mate, I'm so happy for Pappy. So happy for Pappy.
Yep.
Hopefully
How
he can
happy?
play. So happy.
For Pappy.
So happy. Get happy for Pappy. They
You
should
happy
put signs, happy for Pappy.
You are happy for Pappy?
Absolutely happy for Pappy.
I'm happy for Pappy.
I'm fucking happy for Pappy too.
But 14's where I'd be putting him. I just feel sorry for Nick Meany.
I think he'll stay in the side. He's been, honestly,
Nick's been great.
I would honestly go as far to say, as outside of Hughes' incredible form recently, you could probably argue Nick Meany's been their player of the season.
Nick's been great. And I feel like Nick feels like he's found a home amongst the gum trees.
And all the plum trees.
Yeah. Is it a snake or two?
And a kangaroo. I don't think it's a snake
And
or
a
two.
clothesline out the back.
Rounder out the front.
An old rocking chair. That's what I think of when I think of Ryan Papenhuyzen. Oh, sorry, Nick Meany.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And for that to all be taken away by the inspirational Ryan Papenhuyzen seems wrong, feels wrong, but I get it.
Okay.
I do get it. But it's upsetting.
I really want to know what that second line is because I don't think it's a snake or two.
A sheep or two?
Something two and a kangaroo. A cockatoo and a kangaroo?
Yeah.
Cockatoo.
I don't know.
Maybe is it sheep or two?
Wouldn't be a
Sheep or two
snake,
and a
would it?
kangaroo.
Snakes are ouch.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
You don't want a snake or two.
No one's a fucking snake around the house.
A sheep.
There you go.
A sheep or two.
There you go.
And
I'm the most
a
Australian
sheep or
person
two and a kangaroo?
That makes me the most Australian person here. Because I knew the lyrics.
You didn't get it though. If
I
you
said
knew
a sheep or
it,
two.
hang on. If you knew it, you would have corrected me.
I did say a sheep or two though.
Well, technically he did say it, but technically I brought it up that it was wrong. So maybe
Snake, sheep, pretty similar in the word, the way they start with S. So, yeah.
Alrighty. Before we get into it, next golf day breaking the yips.
Monday night, 6 p.m. between the between the hours of 5 and 6 p.m.
28th
Monday,
of August.
28th. Yep. Hello
2023.
BreakingTheYips.com. BreakingTheYips.com.
So the 28th at 6 p.m.
Between the hours of 5 and 6. Sebo likes to keep it. You've got to be on there ready to rip because it goes like
a little bit
that.
of hype.
Sebo likes you to earn it,
Oh, okay.
which is
Sell out,
fucking
so you got to be there
dribbling.
and ready to go. But the next one is in
almost a bit
Newcastle
psychotic.
at Shortland Waters
Dictatorship.
Golf Course.
He likes to keep it fair. In that he's like, if you want it enough, you'll get
You'll
it.
get it.
But isn't it
yeah.
fair if you just say a time and then you be there and you be quick?
Listen,
Listen,
that's
I'm
how
not-
I would do it. But Sebo, listen, you got to let Sebo.
He's got
got
his
his
master at his
beliefs.
work. Okay,
He's got
sorry.
it. Listen, he's got his ways.
Okay, I apologise.
He's got
Sorry,
his ways,
Sebo.
and you may not agree with them.
I apologise, Sebo. It's
And-
your shit, mate. You run it.
Yeah, but the golf day's on September 15th.
Yeah.
Shortland
Newey,
Waters.
Newcastle.
And look, go and look at all the videos from the last one. If you want to get amongst that, which I think any bloke with some fucking blood in his veins,
Yeah.
it's
get
a
him.
With some air in his lungs,
yeah.
air in his lungs,
Good honest Australian air.
cum in his balls,
Yep.
come in his balls, ticker in his heart.
arse on his hair on his ass.
Hair in his
Yeah.
ass.
Yep,
Cum in his balls.
yep.
Loving
Teeth in
his
his mouth,
Teeth in his mouth.
hair in his head.
Hair in his head.
We don't
well,
need
you
that.
don't have to have hair in your head.
Eyeballs in his eye sockets.
Yep.
Okay.
But
Tongue in his mouth.
if you're blind, that's cool.
Yep.
We'll get a ball of beeps or some shit. We'll work it out.
All right, now for some tips, boys. Panthers, Eels. What are you doing?
Eels
Yeah,
can't
Panthers.
win.
Panthers. Eels are shit, dude. Respectfully, of course. Panthers.
Well, we saw the Eels get humped on Friday on the award-winning live stream. SEN, shout out to you.
Shout out to you. But everyone's like, but the Parramatta Eels have been good against Penrith recently. It's like, yeah, but that's
Mitchell
like
Moses.
misleading. No Mitchell Moses, and they've been stinky as all hell recently. The only thing I would say, though, is if you do subscribe to that Panthers don't go too bad against the Eels, then Eels don't go too bad against the Panthers, then $8 is horny value.
Very
I
horny
don't
stuff.
subscribe to it, but it's horny.
New Zealand Warriors versus the Dragon.
Was
Okay, apologies. Your wife's fan now.
Not
not
yet.
yet.
No,
Oh, sorry.
yeah.
Oh, sorry.
2 more weeks. 2 more weeks. 2 more weeks.
Oh, my bad.
2 more weeks.
Dolphins versus the Cowboys.
Cowboys.
Cows.
Like, if the Cowboys don't win this,
then their season is
like,
actually
what are you
done,
doing?
though, isn't it? Like,
yeah,
they
no,
do
it
in
is.
most games,
Yeah, they've got it. But, like,
they
you
don't deserve
don't.
it,
But,
obviously.
what a whimper. What a whimper.
Storm versus Titans.
Storm have to win that.
This is a pretty easy round. So.
It is
Famous last words.
I know.
famous last words. Seriously.
Roosters, Tigers.
Roosters. I like the Roosters.
Yep.
Raiders, Broncos.
Broncos.
I like the Bronx.
Big
I think
old
the
sexy humping.
Bronx. I think the Bronx will pile it on.
Yeah.
Really?
I think this will be the Broncos. Like,
Flexing their premiership.
Getting the Hogs out?
I reckon this is a hog out round for the Bronx. Off the back of a bye, Hogs out. One more week next week,
Dick Sunt.
which is a bit of a rest your boys sort of week, and then I think this is the final week that they can like fully hog out before finals.
Bulldogs, Manly.
Manly will win.
Fucking oath. They'll win well.
I actually tipped Bulldogs this game.
Why?
I just think that they've got to come good eventually. They've got to have that one game.
That's a stay patient, Bulldogs fans.
Yeah, but
That's a stay
you could
patient.
argue it's
That's
too
bullshit.
late.
I
for
know,
that.
but I just reckon they're just going to have that one game.
But
where
see,
they go.
I think the fact that we've sacked Schuster is like, we're not putting up with bullshit anymore.
Okay.
We're coming to play. Gordon Chang come tongs in the fucking side. Bit late, if you ask
Can
me.
come.
Can come. But so I think Manly do a job.
Okay. Newcastle Knights, Cronulla Sharks.
Like the Knights at home.
I initially was thinking Sharks, but I'm like...
Are you
I think-
Sharkies?
No, I'm Knights.
Kalen Ponga's just too fucking hot
He's
right
too
now.
hot, and also there's something special happening up there. In saying that, these are two teams that I am a fan of in regards to like I want them to go well because there's something about Cronulla. There's beautiful beaches, it's a beautiful area. Nico Hines' hair as wet as it comes. Then you got Kalen. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I do know what you mean.
There's good vibe and narrative.
There's something brewing up there at Newcastle. It's very nice to watch.
So good.
Very nice to
so
watch.
Good. All right, that is us. Anything else going on, boys?
Nope.
I
Don't think so.
think so.
No. Not this week.
No.
Okay.
Maybe next week.
Maybe.
Matty,
Hey.
you got anything going on?
You sure?
How's your relationship, mate? You all right?
Yeah, everything going good? You're right at home?
My relationship with the Rabbitohs isn't too good. But
Is there anything you say to the club publicly?
Yeah, you want to make a statement?
yeah, fix it. Beat the Roosters.
Well, maybe you need to be the change you want to see in the world, mate.
Wow, fix it.
Yeah, maybe you haven't been the best fan you can be this year.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
I've
Have
been,
you been to every game?
No, this is probably my worst year.
Oh,
There you go.
So you're
Come
trying to
on.
bloody blame poor Rabbitohs and you not even doing your
you're not
job.
even
no,
pulling your
fucking
weight,
cracked
mate.
Well, we haven't even played in Sydney for the last 2 months.
Ooh.
Fucking Northern Beaches driblette. She went to every single Manly game last year. Why the fuck couldn't you do that?
Because she's a much better fan than I
There
am.
you go.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So maybe you need to
yourself.
fix yourself.
So
bruh.
maybe you're the problem with your club.
fix yourself, mate.
Something to think about.
Beat the Roosters. Beat the Roosters. That's
All
all you
right.
got to do.
As
All
usual.
right, well, you need to win this week, mate.
We'll go and fuck
next
ourselves.
week.